After their win in Game 3 last night against the Thunder, this NBA Finals has just gotten a lot more interesting. And that boils down to one main reason. Heading into these NBA Finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder were the overwhelming favorites to win the championship. And that wasn't some slight against, the Indiana Pacers. It's just the fact that the Thunder have been the best team in the entire NBA all season long. Their defense alone has been and still is historically great. Couple that with the fact that you have one of the deepest rosters in the entire league and you have the league MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on your side, it just kind of became like this overall result that all of us were expecting. But time and time again, the Indiana Pacers have come through adversity, beating teams that everyone thought they were going to lose to. And it's because, similar to the Thunder, the Pacers also have a very well-rounded, very deep squad, led by Tyrese Halliburton, who has been the most clutch player in the entire NBA, at least in these playoffs, that's for sure. But getting back to my point about the finals, last night the Pacers ended up beating the Thunder to go up 2-1 in this series. The reason that is so interesting is because throughout NBA history, teams that have gone up 2-1 in the NBA Finals, 81% of them end up winning the NBA championship. So sorry, I just have to cut in here. As I'm editing this video, I did a little bit of research on this 81% just to make sure it was accurate. And it turns out the number is more closely accurate to just series in general when teams go up 2-1, not just to the NBA Finals. So when overall in the playoffs, when a team goes up 2-1 in the series, they usually win that series about 80% of the time. That is an extremely high percentage going back all these decades. So if the Pacers now are in this position and they end up winning the championship over the Thunder, I mean, could you imagine what that would do, not only for the Pacers and their reputations, but to Oklahoma City? Seeing all these takes and reactions online over the last couple of weeks of what a championship would do for guys like SGA or Halliburton has been extremely interesting to say the least. On SGA's side of things, if he were to win the championship and the Finals MVP, I mean, there's an argument that he should be considered the best player in basketball in the entire world right now. Not only that, you could make a legitimate argument that he is the greatest Thunder player of all time, even surpassing guys like Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Now, if he were to win a championship and Finals MVP to cap off this season, I still don't know if I would do that just yet. I still think it's a little bit too early, but there's certainly an argument there. I don't want to make it sound like there isn't. In the case of Tyrese Halliburton, there's also been some very interesting takes on his side of things if he were to win the NBA championship this year. There was one tweet in particular after the Pacers won Game 1 where someone said basically that he's 3 wins away from being higher up than Chris Paul all time, which I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say pump the brakes. That is a ridiculous statement. I mean, Chris Paul is considered one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. I understand he doesn't have a championship or an MVP. I understand both of those things, but at the end of the day, the longevity of excellence throughout his career cannot be ignored. Halliburton winning a championship would be amazing, no doubt about it, but ahead of Chris Paul all time, let's stop the nonsense. But yeah, back to these finals. I mean, everyone kind of thought that this was going to be like a one-sided, one-note type of thing where maybe the Thunder would win in 5. Not anymore. This is actually going to go to 6 or 7 games, and we might end up having a way more interesting finals than any of us thought. Also, I just want to say real quick, anyone that's complaining about the Thunder and the Pacers being in these finals, I mean, you really just don't care about quality basketball, because the amount of parity that we have gotten in the last 6, 7 years has been so refreshing. Not seeing the same superstars and the same teams constantly going ahead in the finals together. I mean, it's just been so nice and refreshing and a welcome change. That means that the league is getting better, teams are getting better, and therefore us fans get to feed off of it. As far as how this finals will go, I still have the Thunder ultimately winning because I do think they're the better team, but let me know in the comments who you think is coming out on top. And until next time, peace.